Well, hello. Today is April 5th, and this is an anniversary. Um, so, on this date, April 5th, the FCC granted me a license. Now, I have to look it up. I have to read it from the paper because I can never remember it. But this is pretty eventful. I took my technician license in March of 2019, and then in April 5th, I got an email from the federal government, from the FCC, giving me a license, my technician license, my ham license. The license number, the license was KJ7FLJ, which was so difficult for me to remember, so difficult for me to try to tell anyone. So I did change it later, and then to a vanity, and then ultimately ended up with the vanity I have now, which is N7 G&D. But it's been quite a journey. It's been a year. It's been really a year. I put it on my calendar, in the Google Calendar, to come up yearly. And it's been quite the journey. A lot of things I've learned, a lot of progress, a lot of questions still to be answered. And I hope you'll be with me on this journey, and I can answer your questions. But, I got in this thing a year ago after being out of it for almost 40, 50 years. And you know my story. And if you don't know my story, then look down below and I'll have links to the other videos that explain the story. But you're never too young, too old, too busy, whatever, to get involved in ham radio. It's a great hobby. It's a great learning and stretching experience. For instance, it's lockdown time here in Central Oregon, as is everywhere else in the country. And I've been doing a lot of yard work and then doing ham radio projects, electronic projects. Things like I was on the 6-meter experimental net this afternoon with our ham radio club, trying out things with the 6 meters. And yesterday I actually completed making a Arduino based Morse code trainer and decoder. And I had to solder things to a printed circuit board, so I had to use my soldering station and remember the soldering skills that I learned when I was in the Marines. It worked first time. I couldn't believe it. It didn't flip the switch. It didn't go up in a puff of smoke. So, but it's been a great journey. It's been a great time, and I wish the same for you. As you progress and as you go in your own journey, whatever that is, and no one can tell you what that is. There isn't a right way to do ham radio. There's probably a number of different wrong ways. Being an idiot and being a stick in the mud and being a curmudgeon and being rude, being non-professional. But there's so many avenues, so many things to do in amateur radio. And again, it's been a year. It's been a year since I took the test, and a year ago today, I got my license, KJ7FLJ. Again, I had to look it up because I don't remember it. That's why I quickly changed it, because I couldn't remember it. It just wasn't there. So anyway, I just encourage those folks out there who are thinking about it, sitting on the fence, study, take your license, do the ham cram, which basically do some studying before, but then you come in and you study the questions and the answers, and then you take the test, you get your license, and then you really start learning. And that is so true. Once you get your license and you get on the air, you don't know what is going on, and you're learning. It is, you start with a $35 Bofang or whatever you want to spend, and it just goes up from there. And right now, I'm learning Morse code. I took in the early part of this year, I took the CW Ops Academy beginner course, and then I'm starting the basic course. Actually, starting tomorrow. It'll be 2 months, and that starts. So, because I want to learn Morse code, it's something that stopped me before, and I want to learn it. I want to know it. Plus, there's some great things you can do with contests. But again, it depends on what you want to do. I'm still trying to figure out the software thing. I'm still trying to figure out how to do contests and what software logging to use. I've got a Nikon 7300 that was graciously lent to me several months ago by another ham in our club. Still figuring out still figuring out how to get it talking to a computer to do logging. There's just so many things to this hobby, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Involved in ARES and emergency response and learning to handle communications in a professional way and be prepared, and that's been great too. It's fits in well with my hazmat background. Working in the private industry and then with a state transportation agency as far as spill response and that kind of thing and hazmat response. But, if anyone is sitting on the fence wondering if this is for you, you're not a geek, you're not a tech, it's been so long, I don't know, it's a lot of work, just do it. Just get your technician license, start that journey. And if you got the technician license, get your general. I got that back in October. I took the test in October, got my license in November, officially from the FCC. And then it took about a month or so, and graciously one of the hams lent me an HF radio, and I've been on HF since. Still learning, trying to figure that out. In January, I did my first contest. I made 3 contacts through QSOs. Woohoo! Hey, you got to start somewhere. But again, it's just been a lot of fun learning, keeping sharp as I get near to retirement. It's been a great journey to learn some things that will keep me sharp, keep me focused, keep me interested, keep the ticker working, keep you outside. Again, I've shared some videos about my experiences with providing communications for the dog sled races. We were supposed to do a number of pole pedal paddle, some other things, sport communications, be outside for that. That's not going to happen this year because of the lockdown, because of the coronavirus. But, just being active, being involved in the community, that to me is important. Doing electronics, reusing my skills of actual soldering and building things, circuit boards, that to me is important. It's what you want to make it, right? It's really what you want to make it. So, again, it's been a year. Happy anniversary, year 1. Got my license, KG7FLJ. Hopefully, that could be a vanity for someone. I don't know, but not me. Hey, go get it. It's out there. You can have it. But, now it's N7 GND. So anyway, it's been a year. Happy anniversary. Thanks. And if you have any questions, just leave them down below and be glad to answer and get started. You won't regret it. Take care.